Ooh, hey y'all, I'm back with something just a little different. I know some of yous have watched for my foodie reacts. I know yous like when I cuss out her fuck shit, and I appreciate it. I also do like being on my Bonnet Chronicles on Twitch. I've been doing that for years now, and we talk politics, social issues, and news entertainment. One of the things that I take very seriously is pragmatism. I try to make sure that people who are doing their job continue to be able to do their job. And because of that, I take what I do very seriously. And one of the things that I have to ingest while doing the Bonnet Chronicles and stuff is news stuff. Right now, I've got CNN up, and because I watched them on their main thing and I started yelling at the screen, I was like, I was going to wait till Tuesday for this, but instead, I'm going to do a quick Bonnet reacts to something that I watched just a few seconds in, and I was like, oh no, we've definitely got to have our opinion on this, because this is bullshit that if you're a voter coming up in 2024 and beyond, you need to see the level of fuck shit that you're being a foot soldier for fuckery for, because if you're still pro GOP when they do these elementary schoolyard attacks on people, couldn't be me. You should be embarrassed that this is your party and how they're behaving. The GOP need to grow the fuck up. But we're gonna get this popping. Let's get it play in to see, because I think Pete Buttigieg has been showing grace. Because it couldn't be me. This is why I can't be in politics. Everybody's like, Tim, run for something. I'm gonna throw punches if I'm on that floor, because people get on my nerves. I cannot. I'd embarrass my party because I'm ready to fight all the time.
And out front now, the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Now, Secretary, the author of this book, Scott McKay, who Speaker Johnson has called a dear friend, writes something else I wanted to read to you. In part, he says, nobody in the administration knows anything about how transportation and logistics work. Something else that was made unmistakably obvious when the supply.
No. I'm not even gonna let that finish just yet, because the supply thing, that little thing that they tried to make a big thing on like Fox News and stuff last summer, well, technically this summer, that was Greg Abbott trying to fuck around with his border patrol and showing up the supply lines. They were trying to fuck us over infrastructure wise. Don't think I didn't notice the little train accidents and alleged attacks that y'all little wannabe patriots tried to do, and you fucked around and found out. Why don't you talk about what I talked about on my Bonnet Chronicles not even 2 weeks ago, where when the I-95 collapse in Pennsylvania happened, him and Josh Shapiro, an actual decent governor, worked together in 2 weeks, got the job done. But you said that they don't know? I almost said we, like I worked there. I don't. You're trying to say that the people that we currently have running this country don't know what they're doing? Yeah, in some states they definitely don't. Abbott sure didn't. And that's why he cost us billions with his little stunts. But we worked around his fuck shit. And we're doing good. I know you don't want to believe that, conservatives, because all you ingest is Fox News telling you to fear everybody that don't look like you. But the reality is y'all keep trying it and we keep working around your fuck shit.
Supply chain disintegrated in the summer on gay Mayor Pete Buttigieg's watch. Okay. What do you think this obsession is over?
Besides the obvious joke of what their obsession is, I mean, he's cute, so I can see why some of these conservative men get the vapors. And no, that's not to make a joke, like making fun of orientation at all. I think you need to stay out of people's private life. And, oh, he say he's married to a man, and they have a beautiful family. They just adopted two very beautiful babies. They're living their best life. Why would that make you mad? It makes me happy to see somebody content and really doing the thing in politics. But some of you stay telling on yourself, because why should it matter to supposedly straight patriotic men what a gay person does in their private business? What is that your business? But conservatives like to tell on themselves. Y'all stay in people's private lives because y'all don't have lives, point blank.
For you and your sexual orientation?
It seems like they just can't think of anything else, right? There's no discussion of what we actually did. I'd be happy to spend all day talking about how in that very same season when they said Christmas was going to be canceled because of supply chain problems, we wound up having an all-time record high in terms of goods moving through our ports. But in the meantime, you have somebody who is taken seriously by none other than the Speaker of the House of the United States,
Who
basically suggesting...
Now, and not to interrupt Secretary Buttigieg, need I remind you that Kevin McCarthy, who took 14, almost 15 tries, was already a shaky thing because their party is not united. The GOP really sucked with unity right now. But then the guy that they got has had questionable, like, we don't even really know anything about him, but he has questionable leans and ties to literal white supremacist groups, and he's wannabe patriots who really want to usher us into a religious theocracy. So it is dangerous to not take this shit seriously, and I don't understand why people don't get that, but I don't know. I'm gonna let Secretary Buttigieg go on because he's got this guy's number. This is why I said you need to take them midterms and who represents you statewide seriously, because this is the party in charge right now, and all they've got is trying to lead us into that religious theocracy and attacking people who are trying to do their jobs based on things like their sexual orientation. It's always the bigotry and the hate that they use. They ain't got nothing else going for them, and it's tiring.
That the reason we had supply chain problems in the rebound from COVID wasn't because of the factories in China shutting down and then sending their ships here all at once. It was because the Secretary of Transportation is married to a guy and not to a woman. They just can't seem to let go.
Not only that, but they don't understand geopolitics. They don't understand that we literally are still recuperating and recovering from a pandemic. And I think global wise, outside the stupid fucking wars and skirmishes that keep happening, we are doing the thing to try to get back to some semblance of normal. But you got these people that they try to capitalize, to push their bigoted agenda over the reality of the situation, and no, because smart people in the room, and the smart people happen to be LGBTQ+, and you just have to deal with it. Bloop.
Go of this.
So the speaker, Mike Johnson, wrote the foreword for the book, as you know. In the book, the author writes, Buttigieg is a rather queer choice for transportation secretary, not just because he's a member of the LGBTQ community, and obnoxiously so, and then...
Why these allegedly straight men so fucking in people? They are more bitchy than some of us heifers from the block who stay being nosy. Y'all know who you are. We know who we are. But we have the excuse that, you know, housewives, gossiping. Some of these men act worse than we do. Why the fuck you sweating his bit? Oh, he's obnoxiously so. How? By saying, this is my husband, this is our family? No, stop it. I have lived in New York City, sir, and Miami, Florida, sir. You have not seen obnoxiously gay unless you lived in those two cities, sir. So no, you're not going to tell me small town Mayor Pete, who is now doing his thing as big time transportation secretary Pete, has been in your face obnoxious. He's been on Fox News bravely slapping back their bullshit, which I love. I love that he is sassy enough to go on the enemy, as I call them, territory and tell you, no, that is not how this is, because he's not afraid to be himself. It's one of the things that I started to respect about Pete Buttigieg, because he's not afraid to defend himself if he needs to and defend his work. And the fact that they have got to attack his orientation tells you that these men have nothing else going for them. And this is it. They attack his orientation, but they can't attack his actual record of getting stuff done. And look at this fucking book, the Revivalist Manifesto. It's always a manifesto. And you know who writes manifestos? Shooters and murderers. That should be a red flag to anybody who, if you got somebody reading this, yeah, that's a red flag. Manifestos are not good. It's always a rambling of a crazy person. I say this as a diagnosed crazy person. Don't do manifestos. They're bad. How patriots can win the next American era. What? Patriots? You mean those white guys that sit around talking about how they want limited government, but they want to be wealthy and do whatever the fuck they want? They want a young bride that they could fucking have a bunch of kids with, and then when she gets old, replace her with somebody younger? You know, those patriots? The ones who think war is good as long as it's war with people that don't look, worship, or act like you? Those patriots? The ones that are keeping our country from actually going further because they rather focus on somebody's sexual orientation than actual stability, education, and progress? Those patriots? Yeah, no, I don't want them winning fuck all. And I don't want them buying this shitty ass book. So if you've got somebody in your life buying this manifesto, get them help because they need it. Because this is fucked up, man. This is stupid.
Continues the author to write about your 2020 campaign. Quote, Buttigieg ran on the fact that he is openly and obnoxiously gay. The central precept of his campaign being that Christians objecting to his lifestyle were bad at religion.
First of all, I barely remember his campaign. Honestly, I made fun of it a little bit because they were openly talking about how he was a Ivy League guy and how he spoke a bunch of languages. I was like, okay, nerd, but we don't really know you. That was it for me. He really did not run that hard on him being openly gay. But the fact that the GOP hyperfixates on it, like, what is it bothering you? Who he's married to? Mind your fucking business. And why are Christians, allegedly, because I don't think you speak for every freaking Christian, but thanks for that, American Christians tend to seem to have a problem with not minding your own home business instead of being in everybody else's home business. That's why I don't like you fundies. Fundamental anybody. Because you always try to use these weird moral control issues for people's business. It ain't none of your business who's sleeping with who. Mind your business unless it's in your own house. How about that? Christian Americans. Y'all get on my nerves with your judgmental bullshit. This is why nobody likes you, and this is why you're not going to win your little wannabe war, you fake ass patriots.
Well, he is not. All right, that's in the book. And in his foreword to this, Mike Johnson calls the book, and I quote, a valuable and timely contribution.
And this, before Pete Buttigieg even responds, is why I say voting matters. Who represents us in the House of Representatives and our Congress matter, because this guy is literally Speaker of the House praising somebody attacking a transportation secretary's personal life and who he's married to is nobody's business. They wouldn't be attacking him if he was a straight man married to a robotic Stepford wife woman. And I say this as a woman in a cis relationship. Pete Buttigieg and Chasten are a beautiful couple, man. And I'm not saying it to be woke or anything. I just love when I see two real ones doing their thing and happy. Just like I love the First Lady and her husband, and I love the Biden family. They are a unit, and you can tell, a unit versus whatever fuck shit these wannabe pseudo macho male patriots got. I just get so annoyed because it's the same bullshit that they keep trying to drag us backwards because they can't stand to see anybody happy. They just want us all miserable because they're in miserable relationships. No, I'm happy for Chasten and Pete Buttigieg. I'm happy for their family, and I am sick and tired of seeing these stupid bigots trying to attack what they think is norm. Nah, get out of here. Most of them just want sister wives situations. Gross.
What's your reaction even to that?
Where do you even start with this, right?
Exactly.
It's 2023, I guess 2022 when the book came out. And we're still talking about people this way based on who they are, who they love. America, most of America at least, has moved on from this kind
Exactly.
of thing. And what's obnoxious is the idea that you can be coming back to race or sexuality as this author does constantly. Not just the way...
Because, and not to interrupt Secretary Buttigieg's commentary again, because he's laying it down for real, but that's all they got. Hate. All they got. Bigotry. All they got is trying to divide. And if you're dumb enough to fall for this bullshit in 2023, you're holding us all back from good potential, because I ain't got time to hate on people's sexual orientation. I don't got time to hate on people's gender or culture or skin tones. It is fucking 2023. Can we please move forward from this old hat of I don't know you, you don't look like me, so I can't like you? Because that shit's old. And y'all need to grow the fuck up. Some of us just want to move forward, and you just want to hold us back with your weirdo hatred. Let's move past that shit. Come on now. Grow the fuck up, GOP.
The way he talks about me, but the way he talks about cabinet colleagues of mine, all kinds of things.
Because they're like elementary
seem
school.
To come back to an obsession with identity, with either who you're married to or what your race is, and very little, certainly very little of use about how to make this country a better place.
Exactly.
So Andrew Kaczynski, you just heard him play what Speaker Johnson said last year about the book, obviously glowing praise. Including that he said that he wrote the foreword because he believed in the product and he endorsed the work.
Of course he
said,
did.
quote, I love the book.
Of course he does.
Today, though, in light of all these things and these things that we are reading to you, the K-File calls a spokesperson for the Speaker, Johnson, and that person says, quote, the Speaker had never read the passages highlighted in the CNN story, which he strongly disagrees with. He wrote the foreword as a favor to a friend, supportive of the general theme of the book, but not as an endorsement of all the opinions expressed.
Now he's got to walk it back because he knows the Speaker of the House is third in line for the presidency if heaven forbid something happens. It is a very serious position. That is why we told you to take who leads our House of Representatives fucking seriously. But some of you idiots just don't get it. And now you literally have a white supremacist fucking that close to the presidency because, oh, who cares? It's not our problem. We don't have to think about it until it's too late, right? The problem with not paying attention to politics is you have these wishy-washy bitch-ass... I'm not even going to be nice about this. Mike Johnson is a bitch ass. He does not stand by the stuff he even said. You gave this book, this piece of shit manifesto, glowing review when you thought that you could be sneaky and underhanded and support it. But now that the spotlight is going to be on everything you fucking do, you got to walk it back. Because that's the problem with these haters. They're never brave when the spotlight is on them, unless they have tiki torches and they're in the group of their little fucking mommy bought my clothes fuck shit groups. But when you put them by themselves or in a position where they have to stand and defend their shit, they can't do it. I would have more, and not even respect, because I don't respect anything a bigot said, but I would have had more props for Mike Johnson if he would have been like, yeah, I wrote it. This is my beliefs. I know I'm Speaker of the House now, but I'm going to stand firm with my stupid fuck shit. But they know the shit they believe in is not only stupid, not only unproductive, but it's not even sensical. Because what is it your business what Pete Buttigieg and his husband are doing? It's none of your fucking business. Everybody should know that by now. And if you're basing your faith leans and your moral leans off of what somebody else who's grown and living their own life is doing, it ain't your moral leans. You just don't know how to mind your fucking business, Mr. Jenkins. I can't stand people like that.
What do you say to that? You're saying you never saw these phrases I just read you.
Coward. That's what I say.
Pretty hard to believe. I mean, look, I've often been called to write a blurb for a book. He didn't just do that. He didn't just put a quote on the back of it. He wrote a foreword that is in the book.
And I can tell you, to interrupt him again really quick, as a writer myself, I would never write a blurb without reading what my blurb is going on, because I don't want my name associated to just any old thing. I've been asked to write things for people. I've done speech writing and stuff. I never put my name on stuff that I do not fully endorse. You might have heard my words out of people's mouth because of the stuff that I've written for friends and stuff. But unless I say I am fully on board with it, no. And I'm very careful on who I personally let use my shit because of that. So that Mike Johnson does that, yeah, coward. He's a coward. Speaker of the House is a fucking coward. Point blank.
Then had this guy on his podcast and then went out of his way to say things associating himself both with the author and with the book. So that's
exactly. And look at this little motherfucker. He's looking like a freaking Where's Waldo. All he needs is a red and white striped hat. I don't understand why you couldn't stand by what you said, Mike, but you look wishy-washy. So that's why I said, This is why you have to take elections seriously. I know that politics is boring. We don't want to have to think. We just want to go about our daily lives. Why should it matter? Because when you have assholes like this who want to roll us back, who are doing their little strategic, we will take back our country, Patriots rule bullshit manifesto, this is the danger zone. And if we don't pay attention to this shit now, we will be in trouble. Women, LGBTQ, every black and brown minority, and all you want to be model minorities, we would be in danger under these assholes. Because you have to look, pray, and think like that pencil neck asshole for them to even remotely try to accept you. And even then they start to weed out whether or not your income is high enough for them to be bothered with. Because for them, it's always a hierarchy. And as long as one of them is at the top, that's all they care about. It's sickening. The rest of us just want to build up together. We don't care about this superficial shit no more. We just want a better world, and they are holding us back. This is the shit y'all need to see. Because it's juvenile. The fact that they're attacking the transportation secretary's sexual orientation is juvenile. And I think anybody with a brain can agree to that shit.
Doesn't pass the smell test.
At all.
Also, what is in here is not inconsistent with things that Johnson himself has said publicly.
Because he's a
It's
coward.
not the first time, far from that he's promoted anti-LGBTQ views.
Yep.
He's done it for decades, as K-File discovered. Just listen to this, Secretary.
It's time for an honest conversation about homosexuality. There's freedom to change if you want to. Homosexual behavior is something you do. It's not something that you are.
Wrong.
For high school students.
Wrong. Wrong. And I'm saying it point blank. As somebody who's loved history and human study for the longest time, you've realized, if you were smart enough, that homosexuality, gay, lesbian, transgender, two-sex, has been around since the inception of humans. The thing is, unlike the supposed straight couples, they have a big-ass religious dogma trying to push the whole idea that, oh, it's got to be this, and it's got to be that. The same dogma that'll look away when you predatorize on kids. That you want to attack a woman and a woman for being together, or a man, or somebody who just wants to express gender freedom at that. Because it's kind of sickening trying to conform to a role that you don't feel comfortable in. I think it's sickening that we can't express ourselves the way we want. But that's what happens when you push yourself with weird religious dogma, because you can't handle life without it. Some of us just want the freedom to be and study and just be ourselves. The rest of you need rules and regulations because you can't trust yourself. And you stay telling on yourself with your fuck shit.
Students identifies as something other than straight, we're losing the country.
Or we're having a country where people can openly express themselves, have empathy towards others figuring their shit out, instead of rigid, weirdo, moralistic people who more than likely turn to anger because they don't understand themselves. They're not allowed to express themselves because it's not man enough or woman enough or whatever BS rules, and then they go fucking full psycho. This is what I've observed in our country, because you're not allowing people to be who they should be, because you're weirdo religious fundies, and I don't like fundies, point blank.
So those are all things he said. He wrote, as you know, 2004, multiple editorials against same-sex marriage, including one, Secretary, where he says experts project that homosexual marriage is the dark harbinger of chaos and sexual anarchy that could doom even the strongest republic.
Wow.
He talks about it.
Whoa. First of all, I like to think I'm the dark harbinger of doom and chaos. That's one of the jokes I make. I'm joking. But I don't understand why it has to be that deep. A gay couple is just a gay couple. It's just a tax bracket for ma'am, sir, whoever fundy gets their panties in a twist, because I dare say that it's none of your fucking business what two grown adults do in their private lives. Like, the nerve of some of these weird-ass conservatives to go around preaching this fear-mongering. Well, we all know it ain't true. But you're just so in other people's business, but you would hate. And we shine the light on y'all's little fuck shit. Because, like I said, We ain't the ones doing the dirty, and you know it. Those of us who just live our fun, liberal lives, whether we are liberal straight, liberal gay, liberal anything, we don't want to be in y'all's business like that. You stay telling on yourself that. Why are you worrying about dooming the yous are dooming us with your gun loving, your rolling back legislation for education and women's rights? You would rather us die in stirrups trying to push babies out of us than letting us have medical care that understands our bodies. But we're supposed to trust you to lead our republic? Get all the way the fuck out of here with that. No, I don't think so. I don't like this. And that's why I said we need to get these fuckers out of control of our house, because this shit's dangerous.
A lot.
This was just in 2004, right before I had my kid. Yeah.
And it's really troubling for millions of Americans, including me and my husband. And, you know,
I love
this
them.
is, again, not just some fringe radical member of Congress, although I would argue these positions are certainly radical. Yeah. It's the Speaker of the House, and he is second in line for the American presidency.
Yeah, I thought he was third. And that's a good place. I don't want to. I already made fun of George Santos, the great pretender. But that was so good. And this is why I said, this is why I do the Bonnet Chronicles. I'm going to get this Bonnet React up on YouTube, because I just want to test it out, see how this goes with the people who watch me for the Bonnet Chronicles. Y'all like my reacts, and I didn't think I could wait till Tuesday. The way I was fired up listening to that garbage. This is why I do what I do. And I know it ain't easy. I know a lot of people still, I don't like talking about politics, Ted. A lot of my friends are from a certain demographic, and they've been trained for years to think even talking about politics is bad. We just don't talk about that. We had Thanksgiving with our GOP relatives, and we just don't argue about it no more because they know how we feel. And it's like, I've been socially conditioned to not believe that you should have a voice and who represents you. And if we do not do something, this asshole and their little manifesto and their Patriot ideas will turn us into the Handmaid's Tale. And I don't want that. Because women like me, women who don't like men like that, women who don't want to be told what to do and just want to live our lives learning, growing, and seeking knowledge, we will be gone. They will eliminate us first and foremost. Black and brown people, unless you want to work for free again, we're gone. Anybody who doesn't fit their narrative or agenda, whether you are straight, whether you are wealthy, whether you are pretty enough for their society, will be gone. It is a fucking totalitarianism utopia that they want under their patriotic banner. And we cannot afford to let them continue to think that they can somehow win. We have to stamp this shit out. And all it takes is a ballot. That is your best weapon. Not an AR-15 like some of these fuck shits like to play around with, but your brain. Let's be smarter than these fuckers, because they're writing these manifesto books. They're getting stuff like Speaker of the House. This is dangerous times. And it's because so many of you have been voter apathetic that we are in these dangerous times, but we are not that far gone. I do believe that we can work together and make sure that these fuckers never have a majority ever again in our House or our Senate. Because once we start to fix that issue, we can work on the state structural issues. Because we got to do this on a state-by-state basis now. There are way too many governors like Abbott who caused the supply chain issue in the first place in the summer that we had to rectify. But there have been plenty of governors who do the thing whenever there's a crisis or an emergency. Plenty of states that are doing the right thing. Plenty of states that are doing the wrong thing. And that is what we need to shift our focus on. Not this fuck shit elementary school personal attack from the GOP. But I'm going to wrap this up, see how this sounds, get it up if it sounds good. Thank you all for watching if you watch, and see you on Tuesdays at 4 to 5 on Twitch, or Friday nights from 7 to 8, or a little bit later depending on how much I need to rant on Twitch. The Bonnet Chronicles is a passion project for me because I do believe that news, politics, and social issues need to be broken down in a way that is more ingestible for the average viewer and for people who just want the real talk on this. But I think that Secretary Buttigieg and his family are fine. They're beautiful, and they need to be what represents America, not these bigoted fuckshits who just want to lead us into a bad time. And my voice is starting to go. That's what happens when I start getting in old lady rant mode. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I'll see you again soon. This was fun for me, so I'm going to keep doing these.